Morning there, BrewTube. Arizona home brewer here, right back at you. It's been a while since I've done an upload of a beer brew video, and this one is a new aspect on my beer brewing. Always before, I never worried about water profile, and I don't know a super whole lot about it, but just barely enough to where hopefully I get by. The last couple times I got really beat up at some BJCPs because here in Arizona we have some really hard water, and so now I've been using RO water, and now it's all water profile. So hold tight. So as you can see, I'm making a sweet milk stout today, and basically you can see I'm kind of going the stout off the London, England water profile. And because I'm using RO water, which is essentially zeros across the board, to match that kind of water profile, I have to add baking soda, salt, gypsum, Epsom salt, chalk, etc., etc. So that way it matches that water profile. Let's see if I can get in there. So, RO water, 000, going off a London, England style water. And these are the adjustments that Beersmith is having me do. So, along with that, as you can see, I have pale malt, black patent malt, caramel, crystal malt, chocolate malt, and East Kent Goldings with some a pound of lactose at 10 minutes left of the boil. Also using a London Ale, White Lab 013, and I got a 1.6 liter yeast starter, rocking it out. So I've added all my water additions to my HLT tank. I'm not quite sure if I need to put it in that or if I actually need to wind up putting it in my mash tun. So I'm just trying it out, and we have to get to a strike temp of 172, and it's about 144. So I got a little bit before I start putting in the water. All right, a couple more degrees, and then I'm transferring 4 gallons of this in my mash tun and doughing in my 12 pounds of grain. So my target mash temp is supposed to be 156. That's 156 right on the money. Perfect. So one reason why I'm just now getting into water profile after I've been brewing for a few years is I got destroyed, and I mean destroyed, on a black IPA that I made. Because here in Arizona, hard water, both the judges picked up on a lot of chlorine, and this is even after boils and everything else. And so I just used to run all my water through a normal home filter, not RO, and then add my 5.2 pH equalizer as well as some beer salts, not really knowing what everything's going on. So after I got beat up by that, I went ahead and kind of bought some water books, did a lot of internet researching, trying to understand more of the water profile, because that was like the last frontier I had to hit so I could better myself at a home brewer. So this is going to be the very second beer that I'm making that I use RO water, and I've adjusted the pH mash, or adjusted the pH for it. My first one's Oktoberfest, and that should be ready to tap next week, and I think. So stick around for that as well. Other than that, everything's doughed in. I'm just waiting for my mash rest, or the 50 minutes for the hot water and grains to do its thing, and then it's going to be changing it to the boil pot. So stick around. Okay, so I have a couple minutes left before I have to start sparging. So I have just about everything hooked up, ready to go. This is almost done. So this is going to go through my chugger, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to Vorloft it. Let that go for a couple minutes, as well as my sparge temp needs to be about 168, so I'm about 4 degrees off from that. So as soon as I'll Vorloft that for a few minutes, rest the grain bed and get a nice clear wort going, then I'll go ahead and start the the water going through, and then into my boil kettle. Okay, as you can see, I switched out my mash tun. I'm officially done that fucking false bottom bullshit. So tired of it, and because it was an emergency, I wound up wasting some wort, maybe about a quarter gallon. Pisses me off. So you got it Vorlofting right now. I put a little extra water in there, so right now I am sparging at 168, but I've wound up making a little bit of a mess. So I'm going to Vorloft that for a couple more minutes, and then into the boil kettle. Fuck them false bottoms. I'm tired of this shit. So here's the whole thing in action. Coming in. Coming out. Look at that. Okay, I'm into the boil. As you can see, I'm getting real close to doing my first hop addition. 60 minutes, ounce and a half of Kent Goldings. So I've already got my fermentation carboy already sanitized. Got a little cap on the top. It's good to have a bucket of sanitizer and a bucket of PBW, 5 gallons each. Makes it really easy on brew day to put everything in there to soak it. You know, so like that's my my aeration stone. Just keep it in there. It's not going to hurt nothing. Obviously, like the silicone and stuff, if you leave it in there for prolonged amounts of time, it's going to start to degrade, but that won't be for a while. My chugger head in there, and my PBW bucket. So a couple minutes, I put in my 60 minute, 10 minute, I put all the Irish moss, yeast nutrient, and then a pound of lactose. Okay, so I got about my 5.5 gallons of my milk stout in there. And so, given the ale, I have to wait till it gets to be about 67 degrees. So I'm going to let that thing chill down first before I aerate it, and then I'll pitch the yeast, and then I should see activity in about 6 to 12 hours. Okay, so my wort is now pretty cool right now, and I went ahead and aerated it, and I pitched the yeast. It is about 2:30, so I'm hoping to see probably some activity later tonight. I did about 90 seconds of straight oxygen with my wand, because anytime you boil, you're taking all the air out, and air is needed for yeast to multiply and be healthy and everything else. So I did that for about 90 seconds. I did a 1.6 liter starter when I only needed about 1.4 liters. So I have that extra yeast in there even more to get a nice, good active fermentation, as well as yeast nutrient, yeast energizer. So hopefully here, like I said, in about 3 hours, maybe 4 at the most. I've had activity in 3 hours after pitch. So here's to you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and put it down below. And this is Easy Homebrewer signing off. See you next time.